Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm finally talking about something I wanted to get right for a long time, the lights on my Jeep. Lighting has always been one of my favorite parts of any build, not just because it changes the look, but also when you are out there on those long dark stretches, the right lighting setup can make all the difference. So in this video, I'll take you through every single light on my Jeep. Let's get into it. Before we begin, have you ever wondered why legends like the Land Rover and the Toyota Land Cruisers were built? And what original vehicle inspired both of them? The very first Land Rover back in 1948 was actually inspired by an old American Willys Jeep that Morris Wilks used on his farms after the war. A few years later, Toyota studied the same Willys Jeep when they were asked to build a tough military vehicle. That became the Toyota BJ, the origin of today's legendary Land Cruiser. So yes, both Land Rover and Land Cruiser traces their entire foundation back to one father, the original Willys Jeep, a machine that shaped what real off-road DNA should be. And here is the part that makes me happy, because the same Willys DNA, the same rugged, unbreakable spirit flows straight into my own Jeep, built on the same roots, the same blueprint, and the same philosophy of simplicity and strength. Every time it starts, it isn't just a sound, it's a history waking up. A reminder that this machine carries the legacy that inspired the Land Rover, that shaped the Land Cruiser. Now we'll get back to the topic. Let's start with the basics, the headlights. These are Hella halogen headlight dome with H4 type bulbs rated at 55 by 60 watts. Simple, practical and reliable, and they get the job done. Coming back to the fog lamps, they are also H4 55 by 60, and the best part of these new fog lamps is they have park light, low beam and high beam, all built into one single unit. I initially ran a HID fog lamp from a generic brand, but to be honest, they were more hassle than help. One side would work, the other wouldn't. Even after checking the wiring multiple times, the problem just kept coming back. And since HID takes a few seconds to reach full brightness, it wasn't practical for my night drives. The fog lamp plays an important role here because of the increase in Jeep's overall height. It raises the headlight position higher. Even on lower beam, it would hit directly into the oncoming traffic, so I would constantly get flashed back even though I wasn't on high beam. That is where the fog lamp really mattered. Being mounted lower, they light up the road where it's actually needed. For indicators, I have kept the standard Jeep setup along with normal park lights. I added a side indicator on the fenders, not original but great for the safety and visibility at crossings. These two LED lights on the hood are more than just style. They're extremely handy during forest drive. With yellow caps acting as a filter, they cut through the fog and mist and highlight the terrain details. I usually fire it up, especially in the forest or pitch dark trails. They look great, but they are fully functional. Moving to the top, one of my favorite part of this build, I have always loved the 3 amber roof light that you see on a Humvee or a Hummer H1 vehicles. So I went with set of 5 here, 3 amber in the middle and 2 white on the sides. The frame you see here is a custom made frame, and each color runs on its own switch, so I can control exactly what I want depending on the drive. At the back, I initially considered LED tail lights, but decided to keep that classic vintage look. So I went with the traditional brake and indicator combo lights, which was much cheaper compared to the LED tail lights. They match the Jeep's old school design perfectly. Later I noticed the rear brake light throw wasn't quite enough, especially in foggy conditions. So I added a center mount brake light on the spare wheel mount, plus a small flasher that blinks when the brake is applied. It's a nice touch that adds both functionality and safety. The sun is going down, and this is my favorite time to hit the trail. As the light fades, the Jeep starts to show what it's really built for. With the sunset behind me and the trail opening ahead, this is the kind of drive that reminds me why I built this Jeep the way I did. The headlights cut through the shadows. The fog lamps spread a clean white beam on the path. Nothing flashy, just the right light in the right place, doing exactly what they are meant to do. The warning lamps were in a square setup, but I brought them back to their vintage form, the way they were meant to be. Inside I have kept things simple but functional. There's a main doom light with two modes, blue and white. Down at the footwell, I have added a yellow lamp that gives a soft warm glow during the night drive. All of this is controlled by 6 toggle switches. The footwell lamp, the charger, the fan, roof lights, and all are ready at a fingertips command. Up on the top we have 4 pull switches, 2 for the fog lamps, 1 for the internal light and 1 to fire up the hazard lamp. The entire dashboard design is inspired by an old aircraft cockpit, packed with controls, gauges and switches. It's like a pilot cabin reborn inside the Jeep, and yes, a push button starter too, because even a classic deserves a touch of modern magic. Also for safety, I have added a cutoff switch below, a small detail but a crucial one. The original headlight and wiper control still sits on the steering column. Alright, now let's do what we all have been waiting for. Let's take the Jeep out in the dark and see how these lights truly perform. So that's the complete lighting setup on my Jeep, built with purpose, not just for looks. Each light has a reason, from the subtle halogen that respects the oncoming traffic to the hood lights for when the world turns pitch black. It's been a long process of trial and error, but this setup is exactly what I wanted. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, share this with the Jeep lovers and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep exploring and keep the light shining.